Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Join us as we dive into the world of Disastrous Necromancer, where we'll unravel the mysteries of Lin Moyu's quest to become the strongest. From hidden secrets to epic battles, we're here to give you an exclusive look at the story before anyone else. If you're a fan of fantasy, necromancers, or just love a good adventure, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, and share to support the channel, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a chapter. Let's start the journey.
Outside the small world, accompanied by spatial distortions, the Heavenly Saint Sovereign and the War Saint Sovereign appeared in the starry sky. The War Saint Sovereign sensed the aura in the starry sky. There is the aura of a god sovereign. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign nodded, and the smell of blood. There must have been a battle here. The War Saint Sovereign took out an ancient bronze mirror. The bronze mirror was unlike an ordinary mirror. Its surface was uneven, as if it had not been polished. Time reversal. The War Saint Sovereign lightly chanted, and a vast power of rules surged into the bronze mirror, which immediately emitted a bright light. The bronze mirror was activated, casting a beam of light that enveloped the starry sky. A few seconds later, the light disappeared, and the starry sky returned to normal. Then, 9 god sovereigns appeared in the bronze mirror. The 9 god sovereigns came from various clans. After a while, Lin Moyu appeared, and the Golden Eagle clan god sovereign left. A great battle broke out but ended quickly. In just a few seconds, the Golden Eagle clan god sovereign was slain by Lin Moyu. Then Lin Moyu arrived outside the small world. It was clear that those god sovereigns were full of fear towards Lin Moyu. After a while, a sudden attack appeared out of thin air, shattering the space and pushing Lin Moyu back, causing many god sovereigns to flee in panic. Seeing this, the Heavenly Saint Sovereign's face changed slightly. Look at him. The War Saint Sovereign immediately shifted the view to Lin Moyu. After being pushed back tens of thousands of kilometers, Lin Moyu stopped. He stayed in the starry sky for a while before quickly turning and leaving. The War Saint Sovereign said, "He seems to be fine, apparently uninjured." The Heavenly Saint Sovereign nodded, "As long as he's fine." The War Saint Sovereign curiously asked, "You seem very concerned about him. Is he your illegitimate child?" The Heavenly Saint Sovereign snorted, "He's the Hao Saint Sovereign's." "What?" The War Saint Sovereign was stunned, clearly very surprised. That guy actually has an illegitimate child. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign didn't bother to explain and continued to watch the bronze mirror. New images appeared in the bronze mirror. The god sovereigns who had fled in panic returned. However, not all of them came back, only 7 returned. Then, spatial distortions occurred, creating layered spatial waves. In the image, those god sovereigns seemed completely unaware. Until their bodies were crushed by the spatial waves, they still had no sense of it. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign was surprised. What's going on? The power of space is strong, but it shouldn't make them feel nothing. The War Saint Sovereign's expression was serious. It's the power of time and space. They didn't feel the spatial distortions at all. The power of time and space temporarily separated their consciousness and souls from their bodies. By the time their bodies were completely crushed, their souls returned, and they were killed together. Moreover, I noticed that their speech slowed down before they died. That's because time was acting on them. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign, with a look of shock, murmured, "What a terrifying power." Combining the powers of time and space forms the power of time and space. The power of time and space is legendary, but the legends say it is an extremely terrifying power. Combining 2 of the most powerful laws, how could it not be strong? The Heavenly Saint Sovereign asked in a deep voice, "Old War, what do you think?" The War Saint Sovereign shook his head, "I can't make a judgment. Do you remember what happened back then?" The Heavenly Saint Sovereign nodded, "Those people have never been found." The War Saint Sovereign said solemnly, "I suspect it was the power of time and space. They were either killed or sent to another time and space. But this is just my guess. Without truly mastering the power of time and space, it's impossible to know the truth. Even if we knew, what could we do? It's useless." The Heavenly Saint Sovereign frowned, "It's really perplexing. The human race doesn't even have anyone who can master the laws of time and space, let alone the power of time and space. How can we find the truth?" Suddenly, golden light burst from the Heavenly Saint Sovereign's body, and silver light shone from the War Saint Sovereign's body. "Go." Their faces changed dramatically, and they quickly flew away. In almost an instant, they flew hundreds of thousands of kilometers before stopping. The light on their bodies extinguished, and the Heavenly Saint Sovereign said, "It should be fine now." But in the next second, countless bloodlines appeared on their bodies, their skin cracked, and blood flowed. In an instant, they turned into blood-covered figures. At this moment, they looked at each other with fear in their eyes. what a terrifying power of time and space. The War Saint Sovereign, still in shock, said, if it weren't for our rule power automatically protecting us, we might have ended up like those god sovereigns. Their wounds were healing, after all, they were saint sovereigns with strong self-healing abilities. They discovered it quickly and escaped in time. If they had been a second or two later, it could have been disastrous. What should we do? For a moment, both were at a loss. They didn't dare to go back to that small world, not even to get close. As for the truth, they decided to let it go. With their abilities, they had no right to explore the truth. Being curious can be deadly, and that's not just a saying. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign suddenly muttered to himself, I wonder if Lin Xiaoyu knows something. The War Saint Sovereign curiously asked, who is Lin Xiaoyu? The Heavenly Saint Sovereign replied, the one who was pushed away just now. The War Saint Sovereign was completely confused. Isn't he the House Saint Sovereign's illegitimate child? The Heavenly Saint Sovereign laughed awkwardly, I was joking with you. The War Saint Sovereign, blowing his beard and glaring, said, is this something to joke about? If I told the House Saint Sovereign, wouldn't that lead to a fight? The Heavenly Saint Sovereign shrugged, fight then. It's not like you haven't fought before. The War Saint Sovereign ignored him, seriously, why do you think Lin Xiaoyu knows something? The Heavenly Saint Sovereign said, Lin Xiaoyu came from that small world. You can check the Human Emperor Network for his information. The War Saint Sovereign, full of doubts, checked Lin Moryu's information on the Human Emperor Network. The more he read, the wider his eyes opened, and the more surprised he became. He's a top-tier genius. Yes, the Heavenly Saint Sovereign nodded. The War Saint Sovereign said, I calculated, he has a connection with the War God Temple and should join it. Get lost, the Heavenly Saint Sovereign angrily scolded. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign said in a low voice, we old guys have discussed it and decided to let him grow on his own. If he has a connection with the War God Temple and voluntarily joins, we won't stop him. But you can't go recruiting him. Everything must be his own decision. Don't forget what happened before. We've tried several times, and we can't miss this time. If you want to understand, think more about what the War God left behind. The War Saint Sovereign, with a complex expression, thought for a long time before saying, I understand. This time, I'll follow your lead. Should we go find him? The Heavenly Saint Sovereign thought for a moment, forget it, let's not find him. If he knows something, he'll tell us. This world has too many mysteries. It's hard to uncover them all. Let's just do our own thing. Although we can't be like the War God, we must strive for the future of the human race. The War Saint Sovereign said, we are almost ready. Now we just wait for the right moment. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign laughed, it's coming soon. Lin Moryu's story was told calmly, without much emotion, just a plain narration. It was the first time Yuzhu realized how dangerous Lin Moryu's small world was. In the Great World, people are considered ordinary before reaching the super god realm. They just need to cultivate peacefully every day and can receive abundant resources. But in Lin Moryu's small world, one had to fight from level 1, constantly fighting. Because if they didn't fight, they would die, and the human race would be exterminated. Yuzhu's emotions fluctuated with Lin Moryu's story, her eyes gradually moistening. She looked at Lin Moryu with a hint of heartache. At that moment, she immersed herself in the story, empathizing deeply. She sighed softly, I thought the captain was a genius in the small world, admired by countless people. I didn't expect the captain's small world to be so harsh and dangerous. But the captain is truly amazing, being able to fight his way out of such a small world. He is a real genius. Lin Moryu smiled, every small world is different. My small world is not unique. Yuzhu sighed again, you want to defy the heavens and change the fate of your 4 wives. That seems very difficult. Lin Moryu smiled, it is difficult, but not without hope. Yuzhu thought for a moment, I seem to have heard that some treasures can enhance cultivation aptitude, and there are also legendary pills that can extend life by tens of thousands of years. When we return to Divine City, I'll look in the family's archives. Maybe I can find something. Seeing her serious expression, Lin Moryu couldn't help but pat her head, thank you. Yuzhu smiled sweetly, it's what I should do. Lin Moryu and Yuzhu returned to the Vermilion Bird Star Domain and then took a teleportation array to the border area, preparing to head to the White Tiger Star Domain. Between the Vermilion Bird Star Domain and the White Tiger Star Domain, there was also a dark void. It should be said that there are dark voids between all 4 star domains. From chatting with Yu Bingqing for a few days, Lin Moryu learned that dark voids not only exist in the human race's star domain. In many places in the Great World, there are dark voids. Yu Bingqing didn't know why dark voids exist. She knew their existence but not the reason. Lin Moryu, however, was very clear that dark voids were caused by the invasion of the Great World by the Black Blood Great World in ancient times. Every dark void was once a battlefield. Not a battlefield between strong individuals, but a battlefield between two worlds, a series of wounds. The Great World once faced the Black Blood Great World head-on, leaving these wounds, which still bleed to this day. Lin Moryu had seen the runes of the Great World, which were nearly shattered. From this, he judged that even if the Great World had withstood the invasion back then, it was a Pyrrhic victory. Lin Moryu stood at the edge of the Vermilion Bird Star domain, with a dark void that could swallow light 10,000 kilometers ahead of him. The star domain level teleportation array was gathering energy, preparing to send a group of cultivators to the White Tiger Star domain. Yuju stood beside Lin Moryu, also gazing at the dark void. I used to hear about the dark void from my sisters and elders. So this is what it looks like. Lin Moryu smiled. Do you want to take a look inside? Yuju shook her head. I've heard from my sisters that you can't see anything inside, and it's very dangerous. Then let's not go. Indeed, you can't see anything inside, Lin Moryu said honestly. There really was nothing to see. Yuju said, but the elders in the family also said that there are many opportunities in the dark void. Lin Moryu thought for a moment. Opportunities do exist, but whether you can get them depends on your strength and luck. A middle-aged man nearby seemed to have overheard Lin Moryu and Yuju's conversation. Young lady, opportunities often come with danger. Often, when you see an opportunity, you might lose your life. This middle-aged man was a minor god sovereign, with an air of weariness about him. His words were kind but also carried a hint of envy, seemingly envious of Yuju and Lin Moryu's youth. Yuju politely said, thank you for the reminder, senior. I understand. The middle-aged man said no more, his gaze turning to the dark void, with a hint of sadness and nostalgia in his eyes. This is a man with a story, Lin Moryu thought to himself. He had no interest in asking what the middle-aged man had experienced. In the human race, there were too many such people. Living for hundreds or thousands of years, who doesn't have a story? The space trembled slightly, creating ripples. Then a light shot into the dark void like an arrow, bringing a moment of brightness to the dark void before being swallowed by darkness again. The star domain level teleportation array had gathered enough energy and sent off a group of cultivators. The distance of cross-star domain teleportation was too far, requiring immense energy for each teleportation. Below the star domain level teleportation array, 2 stars provided energy for the array. Every 10 minutes, the teleportation array could be activated once, each time sending 10,000 people. The queue moved forward, and another 10,000 people entered the teleportation array, waiting quietly. Lin Moryu and Yuju also entered the teleportation array, waiting for the teleportation. Those who could come here were at least God Kings, and they were all above the 3rd tier of the God King realm. Level 5 permissions were not easy to obtain. By the time one reached level 5 permissions, they were usually already at the 3rd tier of the God King realm. Yuju's cultivation was at the 1st tier of the God King realm, making her the weakest among everyone here. Moreover, she hadn't reached level 5 permissions. She only had the privilege of free movement because she was from the Yu family, came from Divine City, and held an officer rank. A few minutes later, the teleportation array activated. Accompanied by brilliant light, over 10,000 people traversed the dark void, heading towards the White Tiger Star domain tens of thousands of light years away. The star domain level teleportation array had an extremely fast teleportation speed, creating immense pressure on the body. This pressure required at least the God King realm to withstand. If it were a true god, they might collapse on the spot. Yuju's face turned slightly pale, gritting her teeth to endure the pressure coming from all directions. She carefully leaned against Lin Moryu, her body trembling slightly. But the pressure grew stronger, gradually reaching Yuju's limit. Her vision darkened slightly, and she seemed to have hallucinations. At this moment, she felt a warm hand on her shoulder, followed by a stream of life force entering her body. All the discomfort was instantly cleared away, and she felt as if she had entered a hot spring, incredibly comfortable. Yuju looked up and saw Lin Moryu's sharp yet gentle face, his eyes filled with a sense of happiness. Thank you, Captain, Yuju said softly. Lin Moryu didn't speak, just nodded slightly. Lin Moryu's hand continued to transmit warmth, growing stronger and stronger, making Yuju feel like she was about to melt. I really like this feeling. If only it could be like this every day, Yuju thought, enjoying the happiness, her mind filled with random thoughts. Unfortunately, good times always pass quickly. An hour later, the teleportation ended. Lin Moryu withdrew his warm hand at that moment. Yuju felt a sense of loss but knew she couldn't be greedy. She firmly imprinted this feeling in her heart. Each star domain has its own characteristics. In the White Tiger star domain, cultivators use the White Tiger as their totem. There is a legend circulating in the White Tiger star domain about a divine beast called the White Tiger that once lived and fought here, shedding its blood in the starry sky. Just like the people in the Azure Dragon star domain, the cultivators in the White Tiger star domain also believe they possess a trace of the divine beast White Tiger's bloodline. The power of belief is the best evidence. The power of belief originated from the White Tiger star domain and eventually became one of the human race's fundamental powers. The power of belief is the pride of the White Tiger star domain. Within the White Tiger star domain, Lin Moryu could sense the omnipresent power of belief. Unfortunately, these powers of belief were too weak and too scattered. Cultivators were like fencing off territories, cordoning off areas to collect the power of belief for themselves. Of course, they couldn't use forceful means. They had to pay corresponding prices to exchange for the power of belief. For example, to have 10,000 ordinary people contribute their power of belief, one would need to provide extra resources for these 10,000 people. However, the power of belief contributed by ordinary people was extremely limited. Lin Moryu and Yuju passed through several stars and walked through numerous star systems. Lin Moryu wanted to further explore the uses of the power of belief. Unfortunately, ordinary cultivators couldn't access the true essence of the power of belief. Their applications of it were cruder compared to his own. Lin Moryu was slightly disappointed. It seems there won't be much to gain here. Yuju tilted her little head. I remember that the Bai family in Divine City seems to have come from the White Tiger star domain. I once heard an elder mention that the ancestor of the Bai family is a great figure on the same level as our Yu family's ancestor. If the captain wants to know about the power of belief, why not ask the Bai family directly? Lin Moryu recalled that the domain lord of the White Tiger star domain seemed to be named Bai Binger, which meant she should also be from the Bai family. Yuju was right. Rather than aimlessly exploring on his own, it would be better to ask the Bai family directly, which would be more convenient and efficient. Lin Moryu smiled slightly. Thank you. Yuju's little face turned slightly red. Captain, you're being too polite saying that. There's no need to thank me. Now that he had a direction, Lin Moryu no longer asked around randomly. He took a teleportation array to another destination. Within the White Tiger star domain, there was also an unusual star, which was the main purpose of Lin Moryu's journey. The unusual star was located in the core area of the White Tiger star domain, in the White Tiger 000003 non-life star system. When choosing to teleport, Lin Moryu wasn't stopped. Unlike in the Xuanwu star domain where one had to accept a mission to go there. The teleportation ended quickly, and noisy sounds reached his ears. Before his eyes was a sea of people. The place was very lively. Yuju's eyes held a hint of strangeness. It's so bustling here. There were groups of huge rocks floating here. The rocks varied in size, and each landmass was crowded with people. These people were constantly shouting, selling items. It was clear that a marketplace had formed here. These huge rocks had essentially become individual stalls. This place was still 100 million kilometers away from the 0003 non-life star system, and the unusual star was at the center of the star system, at least several billion kilometers away. The teleportation array was set quite far, and it was strange how a marketplace could form in such a place. Not just Yuju, but Lin Moryu's curiosity was also piqued. This sword contains 500 portions of gray energy. Although it's a true God Realm treasure, its power can rival a God King Realm treasure. Selling price, 5 million points. My axe here contains 2,000 portions of gray energy. Although it's only a low-grade God King Realm treasure, its power is stronger than mid-grade ones. Selling price, 20 million points. My white energy battle armor, mid-grade God King Realm, contains 4,000 portions of white energy. Selling price, 100 million points. Amidst the continuous shouting, Lin Moryu gradually understood some things. The so-called gray energy was the death force within the undying law. White energy was the life force within the undying law. The cultivators in the White Tiger star domain had somehow managed to put death force and life force into treasures. And like the power of belief, the cultivators of the White Tiger star domain had even given them corresponding numerical values for counting. They calculated life force and death force by portions. This calculation method was something even Lin Moryu hadn't thought of. After treasures were imbued with life force or death force, their power would increase significantly. A high-grade true God Realm treasure containing 500 portions of death force would have enough power to rival a God King Realm treasure. Although there was some exaggeration, and the death force would eventually be depleted. But it had to be admitted that the power was indeed greatly enhanced. Lin Moryu curiously bought a high-grade True God Realm treasure containing 500 portions of Death Force. He tried it out and found that this treasure's power was not far from a low-grade God King Realm treasure. Although it wasn't as powerful as the shouted claims of rivaling God King Realm treasures, it had its own advantages. The power needed to activate it wasn't strong, even a true god could do it. Unlike God King Realm treasures that required a God King to activate. However, with better treasures came higher prices. True God Realm treasures couldn't possibly sell for millions of points, but after being imbued with Death Force, they could. Yuju also tried it and couldn't help but exclaim, "What an amazing treasure." Lin Moryu had discerned the essence of the treasure and wasn't very surprised. In his view, it was simply that the treasure carried Death Force, so naturally its power would increase. He was curious about how the cultivators of the White Tiger Star domain had managed to do this. The unusual star indeed possessed inexhaustible Death Force and Life Force. The key was how to integrate this Life Force and Death Force into treasures. After thinking for a long time, Lin Moryu couldn't figure it out and had to sigh, "The world is vast, and there are indeed many clever people." Having understood the essence, he thought about going to take a look himself. The two flew towards the 0003 non-life star system. Lin Moryu slowed down to match Yuju's pace. When they were about to enter the star system, both of them stopped simultaneously. A formation blocked their way. The scale of this formation was enormous, covering the entire star system. It couldn't be seen from afar and could only be discovered when approaching. With Lin Moryu's current level, just a glance was enough to understand the essence of the formation. This formation wasn't some defensive formation. If he wanted to break in, there would be no difficulty at all. However, the formation would issue a warning, alerting the Guardians. Setting up such a formation in human race territory was certainly not to prevent enemies, but simply to give warnings. Yuju's eyes brightened. This is a military formation, mainly used for warnings. Lin Moryu was slightly surprised. "You understand formations?" Yuju was a bit embarrassed. "When I have nothing to do, I like to study formations. Over time, I've come to understand a little bit." Lin Moryu knew she was being modest. Being able to recognize at a glance that this was a military formation meant she understood more than just a little. Yuju said, "Captain, I have a way to get in without alerting the Guardians." Lin Moryu found that he had underestimated Yuju. Not only did Yuju recognize this as a military formation, but she could also break it. If it were elsewhere, that would naturally be the best. But now in human race territory, doing so would be somewhat improper. Lin Moryu smiled, "No need. Since the formation is here, let's follow the rules." Following the formation's veins, Lin Moryu quickly found the formation's core. Outside the core, there was a fortress-like building. Without even looking, it was clear that this was a military building. The formation was a military formation, and the managers were also from the military. This made Lin Moryu even more curious about the secrets hidden within this star system. From the unusual star in the Vermilion Bird Star domain to the unusual star on the battlefield, and then to the unusual star in the Xuanwu Star domain. It seemed that each unusual star had its unique characteristics. However, one thing was the same: all unusual stars contained the undying law. This was the common point. In front of the fortress, Lin Moryu saw a group of people lining up. They were neatly and orderly passing through the fortress and then entering the star system. The fortress was the true entrance. Lin Moryu and Yuju exchanged a glance, seeing curiosity in each other's eyes. Soon, they also joined the queue. Listening to the conversations around him, Lin Moryu began to understand what was going on. "How much belief power did you prepare this time? What level of treasure are you planning to fuse?" "I prepared 3,000 portions of belief power. This has been my accumulation for several years. This time, I want to make a piece of armor fused with white energy, a God King Realm armor. 3,000 portions of belief power. Even if you succeed completely, at most, you'll get 3,000 portions of white energy. That can only make a low-level God King Realm armor. That's enough. I'm just doing small business. I've calculated the costs. Coming and going, I can earn at least 5 million points. You can try to aim higher. Like me, I'm planning to make a weapon with 10,000 portions of black energy, a high-level God King Realm weapon. Wow, you're going big. Whether I succeed or not depends on luck. This time, I'm planning to choose star number 7. But star number 7 is too close to the unusual star. It might be a bit dangerous. I'm choosing star number 4, it's very stable." Listening to these conversations, Lin Moryu finally understood. Collecting life force and death force was related to belief power. The conversations mentioned business, costs, and profits. Lin Moryu immediately grasped the whole picture. Yuju suddenly said, "I understand now. They first nurture a group of people to provide belief power for themselves, then use the belief power to come here and fuse the power of the unusual star into treasures, and then sell the treasures to earn more points. This idea is good, but the efficiency of earning points is too slow. However, it's safe and basically won't incur losses. As a member of the Yu family, Yuju was very familiar with business. From what she had seen and heard along the way, she finally fully understood. Lin Moryu chuckled, it's already quite fast. Calculating it, they can earn hundreds of thousands of points every year. If they invest more, they can even earn millions of points. Yuju said, compared to the captain, it's far too slow. Lin Moryu smiled slightly, it's not comparable. They are doing business, I'm robbing. This speed of earning points was not slow among God Kings. The key was that it was safe, without the need to take risks outside or do troublesome tasks. Just now, Lin Moryu saw many cultivators from other star domains. They came specifically for these treasures. Some people even prepared corresponding treasures for their disciples and juniors, so as long as the treasures were made, they basically didn't worry about selling them. After queuing for a while, the two finally reached the end and entered a hall. The hall was very similar to a mission center, with 10 mission platforms inside. At this moment, 2 mission platforms were vacant. Lin Moryu and Yuju each took one. Communicating with the mission platform through consciousness, Lin Moryu immediately saw the corresponding information. Please choose the planet to enter. Entering planet number 1 requires 100 portions of belief power. Asterisk. Entering planet number 2 requires 200 portions of belief power. Asterisk. Entering planet number 3 requires 300 portions of belief power. Asterisk. Entering the unusual star requires 1000 portions of belief power. Asterisk. Along with the information, a star map appeared, marking the positions of the planets. The entire star system centered around the unusual star, with planet number 9 being the closest to the unusual star. The further out, the smaller the planet number, and the less belief power required. Such a setup was completely understandable to Lin Moryu. The closer to the unusual star, the more life and death force one could obtain, the higher the efficiency, and naturally, the higher the price. Pricing with belief power is probably a characteristic of the White Tiger Star domain. Lin Moryu smiled. The White Tiger Star domain had already started using belief power as currency, which was quite interesting. He wanted to go to the unusual star, which required 1000 portions of belief power. For many people, 1000 portions of belief power might be the accumulation of several years. Just now, he heard those God Kings say that they could collect 1 or 2 portions of belief power a day. But he could get 300 portions of belief power every day, so collecting 1000 portions of belief power was very easy for him. Lin Moryu chose the unusual star and took out 1000 portions of belief power, injecting them into the mission platform. A token flew out from the mission platform and landed in his hand. One side of the token was white, and the other side was gray, looking just like the unusual star. Leaving the mission platform, Lin Moryu saw Yuju looking at him with big eyes. He immediately understood that Yuju had no belief power and couldn't go anywhere. Lin Moryu smiled, where do you want to go? I have belief power here. Yuju shook her head, I'm not going. I'll wait for the captain outside. She was very sensible, knowing that Lin Moryu came here to find the unusual star. Although she didn't know Lin Moryu's true purpose, she knew he must have something important to do. Even if she went with him, she would probably just stand by and watch, and might even become a burden. It was better to wait outside. Lin Moryu nodded, then wait for me outside. I'll come out when I'm done. Yuju said, there is some danger inside. Captain, be careful. Just now, she heard others mention that the closer to the unusual star, the more dangerous it was. Lin Moryu smiled, don't worry, I'll be fine. The unusual star might be dangerous for others, but for Lin Moryu, it was like going home. Lin Moryu took the token to the hall, activated the formation with the token, and a golden light path appeared in front of him. The golden light path led directly to the chosen star. Stepping onto the golden light path, it automatically carried Lin Moryu towards the unusual star. The golden light path moved quickly, carrying Lin Moryu swiftly through the starry sky. Stars passed by him, retreating behind. Lin Moryu felt the life force and death force in the star system. The life force and death force turned into gray and white mist, floating freely in the starry sky. The closer to the unusual star, the denser the mist, and the stronger the life and death forces. Life force was fine. Even prolonged exposure wouldn't cause harm and could even heal injuries. But prolonged exposure to death force would be dangerous. The closer to the unusual star, the stronger and denser the two forces became. No wonder, the closer to the unusual star, the more dangerous it is. Death Force can corrode various laws and treasures. Prolonged exposure, even a god sovereign can't withstand it. Lin Moyu sensed the aura of cultivators. They sat on stars, collecting the power they needed. These cultivators used the power of belief as a net to separate the power they needed from the mist, then fused it into magical treasures. Throughout the process, the power of belief played an absolute role. The power of belief is truly miraculous, to be able to be used like this. There must be more uses than just this. The power of belief surely has other functions. The power of belief was an extremely miraculous force, able to ignore the corrosion of Death Force. After cultivating until now, Lin Moyu still found it was a force that could ignore the corrosion of Death Force. Approaching the end, layers of mist appeared before him. The golden light path carried Lin Moyu through the mist, slowly coming to a stop. Lin Moyu stood at the end of the golden light path, looking at the strange star ahead, unable to help exclaiming in his heart. The 3 strange stars I saw before combined aren't as big as this one. And the life and death forces on it are also very powerful, far surpassing the previous ones. This strange star had a diameter of over 1 million kilometers, larger than many suns. Like other strange stars, its surface was also distinctly gray and white. But in the middle where life and death intersected, the 2 forces collided like a volcanic eruption, spewing out strange stars and spreading outward. The life and death forces that were like mist in the star system were actually only a tiny part of the strange star. This strange star was so huge that Lin Moyu didn't know what level he could reach after absorbing its power. Definitely more than 1 level, very likely 2 levels, or even more. Lin Moyu's gaze was thoughtful, even hesitant. He was considering whether or not to absorb the power of the strange star. As long as I don't advance to God Lord, there shouldn't be any problem. But what if I do advance to God Lord? Lin Moyu wasn't sure. He couldn't advance to God Lord yet. In his plan, he needed to perfectly advance to God Lord, which meant raising his physical power as well, just like when he perfectly advanced to God King. Leaving no flaws, no regrets, truly achieving a perfect advancement. He had already found a way to continue improving his physical body, but it needed time. For a moment, Lin Moyu was caught in a dilemma. In my plan, the best state to improve my physical strength is after reaching small God Lord. This seems to be an opportunity, but the degree is not easy to control. If I give up this opportunity, I may waste 10 or even several decades of time. To go or not to go? As Lin Moyu was struggling, a strong voice came from the side. Young man, have you seen enough? Lin Moyu turned to look and saw the owner of the voice. This was a God Lord named Guan Li, God Lord level 1. He was sitting in the void just 100 meters away, looking at Lin Moyu with a smile. Actually there were several God Lords sitting around, not just him. Not only were there God Lords around, there were also God Lords on the strange star. The closer to the strange star, the higher the realm and cultivation. These God Lords were either trying to comprehend the immortal law, or collecting life and death forces to fuse into magical treasures. Those who came here were all God Lords, no God Kings. Lin Moyu bowed slightly to Guan Li. Greetings, senior. Guan Li said, young man, this is not a place you should come. Just look and that's enough. Don't stay long, it can be fatal. Life and death forces spread through space, and the concentration of life and death forces here was indeed not suitable for God Kings to stay long. Over time, their laws would be corroded, and even invaded by Death Force, causing harm. It's worth noting that Death Force invades not only laws and physical bodies, but also souls. Once the soul is damaged, that's real trouble. Lin Moyu knew Guan Li meant well, so he was naturally very polite. Thank you for the reminder, senior. I know what I'm doing. Guan Li nodded slightly and said no more. Lin Moyu was neither a relative nor a friend. Being able to give a reminder was already the limit. He had stayed here for a long time and often saw some young God Kings who didn't know their own limits come here. The results were often not good. The smart ones knew when to retreat, while the foolish ones only turned back after hitting a wall. But they generally wouldn't stray far from the golden light path. If there was danger, as long as they returned to the golden light path, they could ensure their lives were not in danger. Not to mention God Kings, even God Lords like him wouldn't stray too far from the golden light path. After pondering for a moment, Lin Moyu finally made a decision. With such an opportunity right before his eyes, it would be too wasteful if he couldn't seize it. I'll stop immediately after reaching small God Lord. If I really break through to the God Lord realm, I can only say it's my fate. I'll find a way to remedy it then. If I miss this opportunity, I may waste several more decades. Having made up his mind, Lin Moyu left the golden light path and flew towards the strange star like a stream of light. Guan Li's eyes widened. Kid, are you tired of living? Lin Moyu said loudly, thank you for your concern, senior. I'll be fine. As he spoke, Lin Moyu had already disappeared from sight. Lin Moyu's actions alarmed several god lords. A few god lords watched with their own eyes as Lin Moyu entered the strange star, their eyes revealing a hint of disdain. Another kid who doesn't know his own limits. Young people, it's understandable to be proud and arrogant, but it's a pity. There are still a few seniors on the star, perhaps they will save his life. Even we don't dare to truly enter the star. He's just a god king, he'll probably die instantly. Under the gray mist, he may be reduced to nothing. Judging by his speed, he should be a genius. What a pity. The god lords spoke, after all they were all human. Although they felt some disdain in their hearts, they still felt sorry for Lin Moyu. On the way to the strange star, the mist thickened again. In the mist, life and death forces came rushing. When fused together they formed the immortal law, but now with no one controlling them, they were two completely different forces of life and death. The two forces touched Lin Moyu's body and naturally entered his body, as if returning home. They gathered and fused inside Lin Moyu's body, returning to their true form, becoming the immortal law. The death force that could corrode magical treasures and dissolve souls for others had no effect on Lin Moyu. Feeling the life and death forces constantly entering his body, Lin Moyu felt like he was returning home, every part of his body rejoicing and cheering. Lin Moyu couldn't help but let out a long howl, his speed suddenly increasing as he rushed into the strange star. On the strange star, there were still several powerful god lords. They were all sensing the power of the strange star, hoping to comprehend the corresponding laws from it. Lin Moyu's long howl drew their attention. They looked up one by one to see Lin Moyu descending from the sky onto the star. Someone's come in. And it's a god king. How is this possible? How can a god king enter here? Even with protective treasures, those below God Lord level 3 can't come in, let alone a god king. The god lords simply didn't believe it, but the fact was right before them. They all saw Lin Moyu. Gray and white gases enveloped Lin Moyu's entire body, adding a touch of mystery to him. He flew over the unusual star like lightning, leaving a long shadow behind. On the unusual star, several powerful god sovereigns stared in disbelief. What they were seeing exceeded their understanding. Having lived for thousands of years, they had seen too many things. There were few things that could still confuse them. But what they saw now completely overturned their understanding. Lin Moyu was just a god king. A god king should have been corroded and killed instantly. How could he move freely here? Even they, relying on their god's sovereign power and vast amounts of belief power, could barely linger here. Who is this person? Has he already comprehended the laws here? The gray gas is full of death force, the white gas is full of life force. Looking at him, it seems he has completely fused the two forces together. Impossible, we've tried countless times. Death and life are opposing existences. How could they possibly fuse? That's right, you can only choose one or the other. I've comprehended death force for hundreds of years. How could I not know this? But he really did it. Haven't you noticed? Both death force and life force have entered his body. Could it be that we were wrong? The god sovereigns couldn't explain it. They all frowned in deep thought. Lin Moyu flew through the unusual star, searching for the extreme points. This unusual star was the largest he had seen, and the undying law on it was also the strongest. The undying law had begun to take on physical form. The gray and white gases emanating outwards were byproducts of the overly intense undying law. In Lin Moryu's perception, these undying laws had already reached the god sovereign level. As Lin Moryu searched for the extreme points, he was also constantly pondering and sensing. Large amounts of undying law fused into his body, giving Lin Moryu a deeper understanding of the undying law. There seems to be an aura of the Law Star River. This unusual star must have incorporated some power from the Law Star River, Lin Moryu thought. He had entered the god sovereign realm several times before and mobilized the Law Star River, so he was familiar with it. When the undying law reached a certain level, it would connect to the Law Star River. The unusual star before him was like this, having connected to part of the Law Star River's power, making it extremely powerful. The death force within could corrode various magical treasures and laws, including flesh and soul, which would all be corroded. After incorporating the power of the Law Star River, it was enough to threaten god sovereigns. Even weaker god sovereigns had difficulty approaching. The life force was not without danger either. Excessive life force would cause life to wither prematurely. This process happened silently, making it even harder to guard against in some ways. When people are hungry they eat, and when they're full they stop. But the existence of life force was like never being able to feel full, eating more and more until your stomach bursts and your whole body explodes. Excessive life force would do this. It wouldn't burst your body, but your soul. Within the laws of life, there was a very destructive spell called life poison. Well-controlled life force could save lives and heal injuries. But uncontrolled life force could cause all things to wither and souls to collapse. Before finding the extreme points or activating the unusual star, Lin Moryu had already gained insights. Lin Moryu became immersed in contemplation and comprehension of the laws, unknowingly flying round and round. He passed by the God Sovereign's eyes again and again, making them increasingly confused about what he was doing. Some God Sovereigns wanted to ask, but Lin Moryu showed no signs of stopping. Even God Sovereigns couldn't move as freely as Lin Moryu on the unusual star. Although immersed in comprehending the undying law, he didn't stop searching for the extreme points. Following the veins of the laws, Lin Moryu found 2 extreme points in less than a day. In the gray world, there was a white light point the size of a fist. This light point was buried in gray mist, making it hard to discover. Similarly, in the white world of life force, there was also a gray point the size of a fist. The 2 extreme points were truly opposites, and also the foundation for the existence of the undying law. Lin Moryu stopped at the center of the 2 extreme points. Coincidentally, his position was right in the line of sight of several God Sovereigns. He finally stopped. What is he doing? Is he comprehending the laws? I feel the gray and white gases on him have become even denser. He must have truly comprehended something. So gray and white gases can really coexist. We were wrong. We took the wrong path. No wonder we've had no gains for so many years. Let's go ask him how he comprehended it. Just as the God Sovereigns were about to act, they saw Lin Moryu simultaneously throw out 2 balls of law. The life force and death force crossed the long distance, accurately falling into their respective extreme points. The entire unusual star was instantly activated. The previously calm unusual star began to violently shake. Boom, boom, boom. Thunderous roars sounded as the gray and white gases collectively erupted. Enormous power surged out like a tsunami. In an instant, all the God Sovereigns were involuntarily driven away from the unusual star. Even the strongest 6th-tier God Sovereign among them couldn't resist this sudden force. They were pushed back 100 million kilometers before barely stopping. The mist enveloping the unusual star began to thin. The unusual star no longer spewed new gray and white mist, but instead began to recall the mist it had previously emitted. Countless mists flowed back towards the unusual star against the current, gradually clearing the starry sky. What did he do? He activated the unusual star. How did he do it? What a magical world. We are still too ignorant. The God Sovereigns looked at the rapidly changing unusual star, their faces filled with bitter smiles. Having lived for thousands of years, they felt they had lived in vain. Not just them, but the few God Sovereigns by the golden light path also widened their eyes in shock. The mist before them was dissipating at an astonishing speed. As they were surprised by the changes before their eyes, they then saw Lin Moryu on the unusual star. Lin Moryu stood on the star, his whole body enveloped by gray and white gases, like the Lord of the Star, proudly facing the world. The gray and white mists flowing back from space were rapidly entering Lin Moryu's body at an astonishing speed. At the same time, vast amounts of mist also rose from the unusual star, similarly entering Lin Moryu's body. Lin Moryu's aura was rapidly increasing, growing stronger and stronger. Lin Moryu's eyes were tightly closed. At this moment, he was swimming in the world of the undying law. As the undying law poured into his body, countless insights rapidly emerged. His comprehension of the undying law deepened, and his control over it increased dramatically. His realm also began to rise accordingly. After just half a day, he broke through to the 7th tier of the God King realm, advancing further to enter the 8th tier of the God King realm. His aura suddenly increased greatly, bursting out of the star and shaking the starry sky. The God Sovereigns finally clearly sensed Lin Moryu's realm. 8th tier of the God King realm. And it's still rising. He's actually using the unusual star to cultivate. His cultivation speed is so fast. Such a figure has appeared in our human race. It's truly fortunate for our human race.